What's going on, guys? Coach Furman back with another video. We got some one-on-one teach tapes. Continuing on with our series, just diving deep into different techniques that we could use from the best of the best. Whether it's good or bad, we could always learn something, like I always say. So, like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And, we're going to get into it right now. Get into the positioning right here. So again, just going over alignment, guys. We kind of caught this a bit late in terms of the clip. So right now, the wide receiver is probably closer to the top of his route, considering the line of scrimmage is just maybe the 28 or so, the 30. So right now we have probably an off man technique, inside leverage by the defensive back. What he's really trying to use is now his quarter turn. So he's getting into his quarter turn, opening up his hips, declaring and trying to take away the inside, again, the inside pressing route. The reason he's doing so, guys, if you can see, again, if I talk about the numbers, what you always want to account for, especially if you're on the outside, is where is this receiver lined up in terms of the numbers? Is he on the number, giving him a two-way option? Is he below the number? Basically giving him, he's trying to set it up mainly for the inside. There are some occasions where it could be a short out or a comeback, something like that as well. But nonetheless, if they're, at the bottom of the numbers, you can assume, and especially if they're pressing more to the sideline, they're trying to leverage it and use it to either get inside and try to maybe work a double move or something like that. So, the DB has established and understood that. And again, just based on his alignment, he wants to protect the inside, getting into, again, his quarter turn, man turn. Hopefully he gets hands. Again, I've not watched this tape, so I don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully he establishes hands sooner than later on this route before this wide receiver has time to close the gap. So we get our full three-quarter man turn towards him. Again, we're understanding leverage. We're protecting the inside. We're staying patient also, low and patient in regards to the route. Now, again, it seems like this is probably going to be a fade. Now he's at the top of the route. So I'm assuming he's going to be a fade or some type of corner, but yeah, just a fade route. So again, at the bottom of the numbers, there's really only so much room to work with. So you have to kind of eliminate the routes. And again, the more common or the more general route that you would probably see in a situation like this is this receiver trying to set it up to come back inside. That's why, again, we have this cornerback here who is protecting heavily the inside. We get a good turn. Let me bring it all the way back. Again, protecting the inside. We get a good turn, but again, we don't establish any type of hands. And this could be detrimental, guys. If we can't establish hands at the top of this route, squeezing to the hip, getting to the hip, again, with our eye discipline first, and that's where it always lies, guys, is our eye discipline first. Understanding what we're supposed to be looking at the whole time on the receivers. Just this area right here. None of this stuff matters. Until you get in phase, his head doesn't matter, his arms don't matter. It's only about the hips, guys. So once we understand that, he declares his route at the top. He gets to about 10 to 12 yards. He declares that route. Now it's time for us to establish hands. And maybe we could do it a bit earlier to around the 8-yard marker. Stay a little bit more patient in the back pedal. Understand your speed versus the guy that you're going against, of course. If you need to give him some space, you need to give him some space. But even those guys that you got to give space, they don't like being touched. That's why they're good with the space that they normally get. So you want to be able to establish hands, slow them down, put yourself in a better position to be in phase, and then you can start to read the other things. So establish no hands. Again, the receiver is doing all the work, so good job by the DB, staying disciplined at least with his eyes. Focus just on the receiver and not trying to look back for the ball like many of the younger players may do. Just out of experience. So again, we want to make sure that our eyes are locked in. Eyes are locked in on the on the receiver. And then we can start to read other things. But he is not in phase right now. I wouldn't consider this defensive back to be in phase with the receiver. This bit of separation is all the quarterback really needs to put on that outside shoulder, or just lead him a bit further, as he does have a step. So let's see how we play. We play the hands as the ball's coming in now. We start to see the eyes also, guys. We start to see the eyes look back heavily, starting to light up a bit. Okay, they're starting to get big. Yep, starting to get big. Again, the quarterback is leading it. So again, it could have put him on the outside shoulder, or he could lead him because he does have that step over the defensive back. Now, in terms of the technique here, again, if we're going to grab the arm, I would try, if you could, and it depends on the situation. Again, I'm not saying anything about this DB. I'm just saying, in a situation like this, we want to be able, if we are out of phase, we want to be able to grab at least one arm, and we're pulling it all the way back to our hip. That's the mentality that we need to have, is that we're gripping it and then we're pulling it all the way back to our hip. So at least he has one arm to work with. You don't necessarily get that there. But again, what we could take away from it, good patience. But at some point, we need to establish our hands and start to squeeze this guy and squeeze the route, right? We're cutting off the inside of the field. So at some point, we do need to establish hands. Can't get a free release even if we're off man. And then again, if we're going to play the hands, we're going to have to attack this elbow. Attack this elbow if we can. Well, that concludes today's video, guys. Hope you guys liked that one. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see. We're going to do some more coverage stuff. Obviously, some coverage stuff, as well as the one-on-ones. Can continue with the one-on-one series. We're also going to do some news, guys. We're going to look at some news, and good and bad, guys. We want to be able to learn here on this platform in all aspects of life, man. I mean, football is obviously just a game, but life goes on, and there's other stuff that happens outside that I think could be very valuable, and could also help with your discernment in certain situations. So we'll be getting into that too, guys. But I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video, man.